Let's take a look at another Sebenza that I'm planning to put up for sale. This particular Sebenza is a small Sebenza 21 with wood inlays. I believe those wood inlays are Bloodwood. I bought this knife used and it didn't come with the box or any of the documentation. But I've had this knife up on Blade forums and a couple of people have commented they believe it to be Bloodwood. So I'm going to have to go with that because I don't really have any other way to verify what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at the knife. As I said, this is a small 21. All that will be included with the sale is the knife itself, the original pocket clip. Go ahead and take a look at that. The pocket clip has some wear on it, nothing crazy, but it does have some snail trails and such. This is a spare pocket clip screw, and then this is the original lanyard that came with the knife. The knife itself, as you can see, has gold accents on the hardware. The thumb stud, the spacer, and then the lanyard pin is still there. I don't know how many people owned this knife before I did. I really can't say. But I have never carried it, and the knife does not appear to me to have been carried. It's in great shape overall. So let's go ahead and take a look at the handles. You can see there's some like fingerprints and stuff on there, but there's not a lot in the way of significant marks or scratches on the titanium. I think really one of the most significant marks you'll see is this little ding right here above the Reeve logo. But overall, just really in nice shape. As far as the wood on this side, you've got some lighter areas down there on like the bevel of the wood. I would say those are probably imperfections in the wood itself. There is a shiny streak, and you can see that as the light catches that. You can see the shiny streak that goes down the wood right there. I'm not sure what causes that, but it's only on this piece. The other pieces don't seem to show anything like that. Let's take a look at the other side. As you will see, there is no Idaho made stamp on this knife. I'll get into the date codes here in just a second after we finish taking a look at this side of the knife. You might see there's some marks right there on the titanium scale, some tiny little marks. You can feel them. And a light spot on this wood inlay right there too. I would say on that side, other than the rubbing, this is from the pocket clip. When it was installed on there, I replace this pocket clip insert will be included. So that's typical. You're always going to see that unless somebody never opened or closed a knife and immediately put a pocket clip insert on there. You can see there are lines on the stop pin bushing there. That's some Sebenzas have that, some don't. I really haven't been able to find a pattern for that. On the back side here, you can see some light snail trails, but nothing real significant in the way of marks. Same all around the edges, really just a really nice shape. Now the blade itself, like I said, I don't know it for sure, but I don't believe that it's seen much, if any, use. I'm going to wipe some fingerprints off there. These polished. This is a polished blade, as is typical with inlaid Sebenzas, most of them except the micartas. But you can see there's really no scratches to speak of, no marks. The edge of the blade, I don't feel any snags, dings, rolls. Feels sharp. I'm not the original owner. I cannot guarantee that it hasn't been sharpened at some point. There's a little mark right there. I got a little mark on the titanium there. But overall, just a really pretty, nice looking knife. Some dust on the edge there. But on the blade, there's just not much in the way of blemishes on that blade. Now, as far as manufacture date, I don't have the birth card with it, but both of the scales are marked Alpha 10. So we're looking, those are made in the first quarter of 2010, which is consistent. You can see it there, 2010, A 2010. That is consistent with the Idaho made stamp not being there. I believe 2010 was the transition year for that. So based on what I've seen with Sebenza date cards and the date codes, I would guess this knife originally had a birth date card of late 2010 or sometime in 2011. So I don't have it though. I cannot verify that and be sure. Nice looking knife. Not real enthusiastic about selling this, but my collection it's just gotten out of control. My Chris Reeve collection just has. You see some nice reflection in that polished blade there. Let's take a look at the lockup. It's got a nice solid lockup to it. The action is a little bit stiff on it. Like I said, I don't think this knife has seen much use, even just opening and closing. You don't see any wear really on the thumb stud. Typically, you'll see it's maybe a tiny bit there on the peak, but typically you'll see that anodizing wears off pretty quickly. So this one, you don't see that, which just reinforces the fact that I just don't think this has seen much use. So the action's a little bit stiff on it. I have disassembled this, cleaned and lubed it. Very solid lockup on it. It does not drop free. Like I said, it's a little bit stiff. But it's smooth. And if you actually wanted to take this and use it, I think that would smooth out real nicely. So centering wise, centering looks pretty good on it. I might say that it favors the non-lock bar side, the presentation side, just a little bit. Not significantly, but it's pretty well centered. If I was going to say it favored one side or the other, I'd say it might favor that presentation side just a little bit. So there you go. If you're interested in a small wood inlaid Sebenza, I think that's a nice one, especially if maybe you're interested in snagging one that doesn't have that Idaho made stamp on it. This would be a pretty good example.